Welcome to Show and Tell. In this series, I review brand new games quickly and with as much detail as possible. Ready? Go. Galak-Z is an 80s anime-inspired twin-stick shooter? That's not really an accurate description. It's got action-y elements, platformy elements, roguelike elements, though I found it hard to give it a genre. It's been out on the PS4 for about 2 months, but it comes to PC on the 29th of October, and it's pretty good. It has its faults, and I think it needs rebalancing. I know there's a lot of people who don't think that, and that's fine, but just for me, I felt the extremely punishing nature of the gameplay was just pushing me away, and I'm inclined to believe, as a massive Dark Souls fan, that this is the fault of the game as opposed to just not falling within my tastes. It looks pretty sweet though. The designs feel very 80s to 90s anime, which is nice, although I felt the character design didn't completely reflect that. I like the design of the characters, but I felt they resembled a more Saturday morning cartoon western style instead of anime. The anime feel mostly comes from the music, the setting, and, oh yeah, the mechs. I like the environments, I just wish there was a little more variety. The game is split into seasons with 5 episodes or missions each. I'm not really sure why they couldn't have designed a new environment for each season, because that would have worked really well, I think. But for the most part, it's either biological area or mechanical area, and that's it. It could have been a lot more, with each season having its own distinct atmosphere. The actual gameplay itself is pretty solid. At first I found it finicky, but once I got the hang of it and began using the environment to fight the enemies, I found it a lot more satisfying. It's certainly difficult, but it's pretty fair. The thing I had an issue with was the buffer room you were given. For the most part, if you end up at the most heavily damaged possible, 1 health and the default 2 shields, it's good enough to make it to the end of the level. However, there are some relatively rare enemies that can kill you in 1 hit by taking 2 shields and 1 health per shot. I don't think that was a good call. Health is insanely valuable in this game, and I feel the point of the gameplay relies on being able to be risky but still retaining your health. If there are shots that can just take your health no matter what, then I feel it compromises the rest of the experience. And it's not just that, there are a couple of other minor gameplay annoyances that make the experience pretty frustrating in my opinion, and really make the game ridiculous on Rogue mode. When you begin the game, you have the choice between Rogue and Arcade mode, and I would recommend only the most extreme masochists ever play Rogue mode. It's insane to me that Arcade mode is a new addition rather than the standard. The upgrading system is weird because when you are finished with a season, you lose all of your upgrades. This is compounded by the fact the game doesn't have that many upgrades to choose from. It's pretty lackluster, and I wouldn't buy the game expecting an RPG-like skill tree. In general, because of the way the game works, if you're not a masochist of any kind, probably avoid the game. The plot, while retaining a lot of that anime feel, isn't really here to blow your mind. It's nothing particularly interesting in my opinion, though I don't feel it was trying to be, necessarily. You start off stranded and then end up with a super weapon that you can use to overthrow the Imperials or something. I thought the writing was pretty good though. A lot of what the characters say is groan-worthy, but in a charming way. I feel like it really captures a Saturday morning cartoon vibe with corny jokes. The thing is, I think the game is solid, but I do not think it's worth $20, which is the launch price. There's a 20% discount at launch, which makes it $16. Even then, I'd wait. If you ever see the game for $5, it's a complete steal. If you see it for $10, I'd say that's what it's worth. $15 is the maximum I'd ever say someone should pay for it, and even then I'd advise them to maybe wait. So $20 is really hard to justify for maybe 5 or 6 hours if you're playing arcade mode. I mean, if you're really excited to play this game based on my review, go for it, but I think for most people, it's smart to hold off. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, consider leaving a like because that makes it easier for other people to find this video. If not, leave a dislike guilt-free, but try and leave me some feedback for next time. See ya.